Good evening and welcome to the Anne Arundel County Delegation meeting. I am Delegate Heather Bagnall, Chair of the delegation with Vice Chair Delegate Dana Jones. This is our final meeting in these roles before Delegates Pruski and Simmons take over the gavel. Now, before we conduct further business, I would ask everyone to join me in the pledge and our prayer today. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. These past few weeks, we've suffered a good deal of loss, including two pillars of our community, Vincent Leggett and Judy Hagner. Vincent Leggett was the founder of Blacks of the Chesapeake, and he spent his life celebrating, elevating, and sharing the stories of Black watermen who shaped the communities around the Bay. Judy Hagner worked for the county for 48 years, and for the last 6 years as the executive director of the Anne Arundel County Liquor Board. We have lost two titans of public service. So in lieu of the prayer today, I would ask if we could join in a moment of silence. Thank you very much, everyone. Today's meeting is presentations only, so we will not be voting. Some of our members are in other meetings preparing for the start of session, but rest assured they have your materials, and of course this meeting is being recorded for their review as well as for the public. As a reminder, only members and council should be on camera, as well as the organizations presenting tonight.
Hi, guys.
We will have staff support in the meeting, but they will keep cameras off to avoid confusion by the public. I do want to welcome our senators, Senator Dawn Guile from District 33, Senator Pam Beidle from District 32, Senator Brian Simonaire from District 31, Senator Sarah Elfreth from District 30, Senator Jim Rosapep from District 21, and Senator Clarence Lamb from District 12. I also want to recognize our council, Matt Carpenter, our delegation secretary, Roger Massey, and my chief of staff, Rory Nolan, and Josh Paper, chief of staff to Vice Chair Jones, who are providing technical support for the meeting, as well as Jen Garcia, who is chief of staff to incoming chair-elect Delegate Pruski. As a reminder to the public, our delegation meetings during session are Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Today, we will be hearing from a number of our community leaders. Now, as a reminder to the delegation, you can ask questions, but you will also have time to follow up offline, and you will have all of their materials. In the interest of time, we do ask that all presenters adhere to the 2 minutes, and we will have an online timer for your convenience. At the end of 2 minutes, we will ask you to wrap up your presentation if you haven't completed it. And with that, I would like to introduce our first presenting organization, Peerless Wrens Club.
Do we have Brianna online?
Peerless Wrens is not ready.
Chair, can we go ahead and come back and potentially?
Absolutely. Yep.
Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse. Harness Creek.
Harness Creek Overlook for Arundel Rivers. I can do
There
that
we
one.
are. There's Arundel Rivers. Okay, excellent. Matt, take us away.
Great. Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the delegation. I'm Matt Johnston. I serve as the executive director for Arundel Rivers, a nonprofit based out of Edgewater, Maryland, that's completed over 50 environmental restoration projects across the county, from Dorsey Road in Hanover all the way down to Deal on the Shadyside Peninsula. And many of those projects you all have helped us out with. Tonight, I'm here to request $175,000 for a shovel-ready, yes, shovel-ready project in the Harness Creek Overlook community that's adjacent to the extremely popular Quiet Waters Park in Annapolis. I want to thank Delegate Jones for sponsoring this LBI request. You should have received a white paper with many of the project details, and I'm going to highlight just a couple for you tonight. The project is going to restore an outdated stormwater pond that's located just 500 feet from our tidal waters and all of the oyster bars of the South River. As a lot of us know, these decades-old ponds are filling up with sediment, and that is sending sediment downstream to our rivers and to the Chesapeake Bay, suffocating our oyster bars. In fact, the community members have even had bucket brigade days where they try to scoop out the sediment to restore the stormwater pond, but they obviously need our help. So we've worked with these community members for the past 2 years, along with engineers and the Chesapeake Bay Trust and the city of Annapolis, and we've secured $77,000 for this project already and are going to go out for another grant. And this LBI would let us complete the construction of this project. Once it's built, the project is going to create new wetland habitat. It's going to give us an opportunity to bring local youth on the ground to get their hands dirty and their feet wet planting native plants for the Chesapeake Bay restoration effort. And most importantly, probably, it's going to prevent 64 tons of sediment or 3 dump truck loads of sediment from entering our rivers and the Chesapeake Bay every single year moving forward. So I know we all know that these projects are powerful and they can heal our waters and our communities. And I just want to thank you again this evening and for all your past work helping us support these projects and protecting our rivers, our residents, and the Chesapeake Bay. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, and thank you for keeping to the time. Well done. I should have also said in my notes, and I apologize, if you have a sponsor and or you are seeking a sponsor, just please make us aware during the presentation. So at this point, let me go ahead and open it up to any questions from the members. Give it a moment to see if there are any hands. All right, it looks like you did a great job. And again, to our members, you can also follow up offline. And so let me turn to, do we have Peerless Wrens?
I believe that we have Thomas Point and John is on the line right now.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to Thomas.
There's John.
Thomas Point Lighthouse.
Very good. Thank you very much for allowing me to be on tonight. Our delegate, Dana Jones, is sponsoring a local bond initiative for us to replace the dock landing at Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse. You can see by this picture that this is a pretty complete shot of the Thomas Point Shoal Lighthouse. The landing dock was actually destroyed in a storm on August the 9th. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to make this Zoom work here. I'm sorry, but it doesn't appear to be working, so I'll just go skip over that portion of it. The landing dock was destroyed on August 9th, 2024 by a tropical storm Debbie. The dock sailed over 7 miles up the bay with our bird deterrent coyote Drew attached to the dock. While a temporary 6-foot dock was built to continue our public tours, it's not adequate for long-term public access. The iconic lighthouse is part of the Chesapeake Gateways program, which benefits the public by providing tours inside the lighthouse during the summer, bringing hundreds of visitors to Arundel County and the state. This in turn provides tourism dollars for local hotels, restaurants, and stores. We have taken over 7,000 people through the lighthouse since 2007. In fact, we took 875 people just this year alone. The dock will be updated using more sustainable elements, including aluminum handrails and an emergency boarding ladder and a stainless steel deck fasteners. The intent is to avoid losing the dock again during potential heavy seas and high tide conditions, which are increasingly prevalent along the Chesapeake Bay. We're celebrating our 150th anniversary in 2025. It's one of the most recognized features in Arundel County. I thank you very much for your consideration, and I thank Delegate Jones for sponsoring us.
Thank you very much. And I will, I'm just looking for hands from the members if anyone has questions. Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. And it looks like, I think I saw that Peerless Wrens is in the meeting now. So we'll go ahead and turn to Peerless Wrens Club.
Hi, everyone. Brianna. Oh, wait a minute. I glitched. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So my name is Brianna Cuffey. I'm coming to you as the treasurer of Peerless Friends Club located in Eastport. My family hails from Eastport. We have been there since 1871 and still strong. As many of you have, I'm sure, have heard of Peerless Friends. We are in the midst of a reemergence, if you will. We have received a couple of bond bills from the delegation in the last few years, and we are grateful for those. I have been being the project manager for our outdoor restoration work. That has become more apparent of a need in the last couple of months. And so in assessing and having multiple vendors come out and give us a better idea of how we can better utilize the space, getting things cleared. Some of you may have seen our recent fundraiser and clearing out the backyard to even get it to a point where we can do renovations. It became very apparent that we need yet another bond bill, even just for the outside. And so we're working diligently with some of the local vendors and businesses in the area to get a new fence, redo the deck. Our shed needs a new roof. So that we can better utilize our outdoor equipment and house it out there. Some updates to electrical so we can install a security system and really take advantage of the beautiful space that is our outdoor backyard. During the pandemic, when it was in a better situation, we had folks that hosted outdoor events to kind of maximize, being able to gather during the pandemic. And we'd like to be able to offer that again, or even to have a mix of indoor-outdoor events, but not without bringing it up to a standard that I have and that some of us would like to see, so we can have quality events outside, just like we do on the inside. Peerless Friends is one of the few buildings we have left in the historic section of Eastport, and so we are doing all we can to make that a reality.
Thank you very much, and excellent timing. I have a hand from Delegate Henson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Ms. Cuffey, for your presentation and for your commitment to the Peerless Friends Club in Annapolis. You mentioned that in years past, we have been able to secure some bond funding for Peerless Friends. I know I was proud to sponsor some LBIs, and I believe it was 2021 and 2023, 2 different LBIs. Can you tell us the status of the work that's done under those authorizations?
So our current president, well, outgoing president, and my mom have taken over or have been managing those. I know there have been a lot of meetings with contractors in the last few months. There were some issues with our president getting access to some of the funding and getting some of that shaken loose and better understanding the online system. But we've been able to streamline some of that with some additional assistance. And gotten some additional quotes and some updated quotes from different vendors from before, as well as new ones, minority businesses, veteran-owned businesses. So as far as I know from when I talked to her earlier today and late last week, we're moving forward with uploading some of those estimates so that we can get those folks out to actually make the updates. Because some of the things when she submitted for them before were in less of a dire situation when she submitted for them. And now what used to be for some things like our HVAC system, what used to be just a repair is now a full-on replacement. So there also have been some changes to the gravity of the need.
Thank you for your diligence with the club over the years. I've certainly been happy historically to offer my support for Peerless Friends. I want you to know you have my support going forward with these bond bills and any other way that we can preserve what is really a rich history that's there in Eastport. And like you said, one of the dwindling opportunities to do so. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Delegate Henson. Any other members? I'm just looking for hands. All right. Thank you so much for your presentation. We are now going to move to Summit School, and I'm going to apologize in advance. I only have the organization, so if I'm looking frantically, it's because I don't necessarily have the name. So my apologies. If you're wondering why I'm not calling you by name. So Summit School, please feel free to unmute and go ahead.
Good evening, Chair Bagnall, Vice Chair Jones, and members of the Arundel delegation. We are in discussions with delegates and senators to sponsor. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you today. You have all of our information, including PowerPoints ahead of time. I am Joan Mealy McCarthy, Executive Director of the Summit School, a non-public, nonprofit special education facility designed to serve students with specific learning disabilities. Some students' tuition is funded by their school district, but the majority are private pay, and 40% receive some form of financial aid. I'm here to ask for support for a specific component of our building project, Community Hybrid Technology Space, which is itemized in our LBI application. We are shovel ready to start in February. All permits are approved. But first, allow me to provide a little piece of our story. We close the achievement gap for our students. 98 to 99% of our kids graduate from high school and 85% complete college. Though we are a small school, we are recognized as a thought leader among similar schools regionally and nationally because of our proven success with students and our innovative methods. On slide 2, the PowerPoint that you already have, you can see Ames Web national data that shows our students' incredible progress in reading and math. In 1 year's time, that surpasses their struggling peers in public schools. On slide 3, you see the story of one of our current 8th graders. He was well below grade level in reading and math and now is achieving above grade level. His amazing achievement is not the exception. This is the collective story of our students. We started this project before COVID-19. Post-pandemic costs have increased by 30 to 40%. Consequently, we scaled back the size of the building by a third. We have a funding gap of $3 million between what we can finance and the total cost of the building, which is projected to be $10.5 million. We desperately need your help. We can't afford to wait any longer. Slide 4 shows the disintegration of the building that we have that houses middle school students. It floods, the lower level is unusable, and we've had portables placed on campus at great expense. Slides 5 and 6 spell out our impact to the community, hybrid technology in a seminar space to host symposia and teacher training modules for all Maryland teachers, after-school therapeutic study hall for non-Summit students, expanded Summit Resource Center services, increased summer camp capacity, and meeting spaces with hybrid capabilities to rent. Thank you again for your time and consideration. We need your help, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you very much. And I saw Delegate Vice Chair Jones and then Delegate Howard.
Okay.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so very much. I had a question on, you talked about slides 5 and 6, and it spells out the impact to the community. And then in your testimony, you talked about non-Summit students and teacher training for all Maryland teachers. I'm sorry, could you just explain that a little bit more? I know that you're trying to stick to it 2 minutes there, and I just kind of want to understand what you're implying there.
So part of our mission is not just to help children in the schoolhouse. Our mission is to help families outside of the Summit school community, as well as to help students, teachers help students. So this seminar space will allow us to do symposia that's in person and hybrid. So people can't come in person. We will have that ability to publicize, to broadcast at the same time. We're also in conversation with Anne Arundel County to develop modules, teacher training modules for teachers, which I also have been in conversation with the state. We have a lot of methodologies and practices that will help all teachers, help students. So this technology will help us make that connection for teachers that can't come on campus. In the afternoon, we have planned a therapeutic study hall for students that don't go to Summit so that they can get help 4 days a week with trained practice teachers on homework, on executive functions, that parents can sign up for a package to come and their kids can come and get therapeutic good homework help, and not just binky help that not only gets their homework done, but teaches them. So we're very excited about that we're planning. The other thing that we're very excited about is trying to find hybrid technology in the county is very difficult. And so we believe that once this structure is built, we can also offer our facilities out to the community who may be in need of hybrid technology, meeting space, classroom space. We're sure that we can meet that need in the community. You know, we serve not only Anne Arundel County, but we serve PG County, we serve Calvert County, Charles County, St. Mary's County. We're over the bridge, Talbot County. We have kids from at least 9 Maryland counties. We are the only game in town that specifically serves kids with learning differences, learning disabilities. And we're so successful with these kids. And we know that not every family can come to Summit. So we feel that it's part of our mission to extend what we do to kids who can't come to Summit, either by our ancillary services or by teacher training. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, that does. Thank you. And you said you are you're talking with AACP, the Anne Arundel County Public School System.
Mhm.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Delegate Howard.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dr. McCarthy, I was looking at the presentation earlier and I can't access it through my Google Docs right now on my mobile device, but I'm sorry about that. But if you could, I remember earlier when I was looking at the presentation, I think it was slide 3, there was some, can you go over some of that highlighted information?
Sure, thank you. So what I want to show you, we use Ames Web benchmarking system, which is national benchmarking for all students, not just students with learning differences. And so when you see that our kids come in, they're very low performing, and when they leave us, they're at or above grade level. So the red arrows show that in grade 3, this young man, his reading comprehension was at the 9th percentile, which meant that 91% of students his age did better in reading comprehension than he did. However, by 8th grade, his reading comprehension, oh my goodness, I have to put my glasses on, was at the 79th percentile. So from 3rd grade to 8th grade, we closed that gap and brought him above. And the same thing happened in math. His concepts and applications, which is math problem solving, was at the 2nd percentile. September of this year, 53rd percentile. This young man will go on to high school. He will be in AP classes and he will do whatever he wants to do because his skills and his learning requisites have really been scaled up so that he can become the best student that he needs to be. Does that help?
Yeah, and I want to thank you for bringing this to the delegation. And I really appreciate you trying to expand this service countywide and larger. And I know that there's been a lot of success stories of individual students coming out of the Summit School. I know personally some of the students there and the success that you guys have had. And I just want to thank you very, very much for what you're doing and that you're expanding this. This is extremely important and a very needed resource in the community. And I appreciate it. And thank you for highlighting that for me also.
Thank you so much. Any other questions?
Thank you very much. I don't see any other hands. So thank you for your presentation and thank you to the members for your thoughtful questions. We are going to turn now to American Legion Post 7. We have American Legion Post 7.
Mute. Can you hear me, Heather?
Yes, we've got you.
I don't know if I can keep up with everybody that's presented in the past. Pardon me. Robert Wayland, American Legion Post 7 Commander. I want to let everybody know that our post located in Annapolis, Maryland, is right on Crownsville Road. We support about 900 family members in our region within the community. We're supposed to, our current delegate is Stuart Schmidt, District 33B. And what we're asking for is a grant to support our post to upgrade its facility for handicapped accessibility. A lot of our members are aging. We're also bringing in new members, but a lot of our request is to upgrade our facility, both handicapped accessibility and erosion repair. We're an age facility. A lot of our members, we support we subsidize food and help for a lot of our aging veterans, their families, and the community in general. We also support and we're a charter member of a Boy Scout League. We also do baseball league, American League Baseball League, and we also have another outreach in communities, carvers, so on and so forth. aging Vietnam veterans group that meet on our post original. But we are an aging facility. We're asking for funding to basically maintain it with capabilities that will support our aging community. Our kitchen facilities need to be upgraded. We support we also voting place for the both local and federal polling place. So I'm asking for funding for support that. That's pretty much plain and simple.
Thank you very much, Mr. Whalen, and it's always a pleasure to see you. I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
open it up to questions from the members. I'm just looking if there are hands. Mr. Whalen, it looks like you kept pace with everyone.
Well,
So thank you very much.
pardon me. I'm in Williamsburg right now on my anniversary, so you have
Oh
to
my
pardon me.
goodness. Well, thank you very much for being here and for making the time. And please go and enjoy your anniversary and thank
We're
your
trying.
guide for giving us the time.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all your time and effort, by the way, Heather. Thank you.
Absolutely. We are now going to turn to Elks Camp Barrett.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Charles Spadone. I'm the
there we go. We got you.
Okay, good. I'm the co-chair of the executive committee. Good evening, Anne Arundel County delegation. I appreciate the opportunity to address you. Elks Camp Barrett has been in continuous operation since 1959. I gave you a read ahead with extensive information on who we are and what we do and who we serve. But we provide an opportunity for children to get outdoors for adventure and fun through a variety of structured programs. The benefits to Anne Arundel County are any youth between the ages of 9 and 13 can attend camp. And we do have camper weeks every year, but we also are of service to over 50 other nonprofit or civic organizations, and we allow them to use our camp to serve veterans with drug awareness and prevention programs, scouting programs, high school bands, and a variety of other medically oriented type camps. I know there's a concern about whether we apply for other grants, and we do. An example is a grant with the Department of Natural Resources. We work in partnership with Greenvest. We've applied to Truist Foundation, and we've received a grant for security requirements at the camp that we applied for, and we get support from the Elks National Foundation. The appendix in the LBI guidelines does not really have anything of efficacy that would apply to the camp, but we are continuing to look for other sources. Right now, we are applying for $290,000 or up to that much, because we've had a lot of regulatory requirements imposed on the camp that we could not have anticipated. We need to modernize our septic system, our electrical system. We need to put in a new pool water discharge system, and we have some HVAC requirements we'd like to address. All of those things will cost us on order of $400,000. So we're not asking for everything from you guys. And we are also looking to get support from the Maryland, Delaware, and District of Columbia Elks Association through individual contributions, through Elks Lodges, and through the Maryland, Delaware, and DC Elks Association itself. This is an emergency situation for us. We're going to be borrowing money. We're shovel ready. We're going to have to start in the early part of 2025. So we're borrowing money, and we're very hopeful that you can provide support to us so that we can repay those loans at a later date.
Thank you very much, Mr. Spadone. And I'm going to open it up for questions. I see no hands, so thank you very much for your presentation. I also did want to say to all of our presenters, once you've presented, you do not
Madam
need to
Chair, we
remain
have a
in the
couple of
meeting.
hands now.
Oh, we do have a couple hands. All right. So we'll go to those. I just wanted to say, anyone who has presented already, you are welcome to stay in the meeting, but you are not required to remain. And with that, we do have questions from Delegate Lehman and then Delegate Bartlett.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thanks to these presenters. I have a question I've been wondering about, and it was actually just asked to me today from an Anne Arundel organization that is a nonprofit that will not be on tonight, but I didn't know how to answer it. And it is that, is it still, or it was my understanding that it is the system that if you get bond money, what we used to call a bond bill, LBI, that the recipient organization spends the money for whatever capital improvement it is that they're making, and then they get reimbursed. Is that the case or not? Or can they put in for, their new roof or their renovation or whatever it is they're doing, and the state sends the money? How can you address that? Or can maybe Appropriations Vice Chair Chang address that? Can someone answer that question, please?
I think Mr. Vice Chair, you are the expert in this arena, if you're okay with being put on the spot a bit.
Sure, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Delegate Lehman, thanks for the question. The organizations, what they would do is they work with the Department of General Services and submit those different contracts or those different estimates, and then they would work as far as getting the funds from the state through that process. And there's actually a process book or protocol book that's available and that they've produced. It's a capital booklet, also process map, and we can have that sent over to everyone, and that's also available on the Department of General Services website.
Okay, so if you could just clarify, that's helpful, but are you saying it kind of depends on where the money is coming from or what it's for, whether it can be obtained on the front end or whether a recipient has to spend money and then get reimbursed, or is it a little bit of both?
No, from my understanding, it's, again, the organization would submit all their different estimates and contracts to the Department of General Services for the funds to be released.
Oh, I see. Okay. I will talk to you offline about the concern. It's an organization, and it has been having some trouble accessing money that's been approved every year. So thank you for that.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and Delegate Bartlett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Sorry, my question is to Mr. Spadoni. I wanted to ask you, what is the current status of your septic system?
It's the regulatory authorities have come in and said we have to do a modernization. We have to do some perk testing. We have to modernize it. We have to, all of the lines going from the buildings to the holding tanks have to be replaced. And there's other work that has to be done. And it's just something that only came to light very recently due to, from an inspection of the camp that we really weren't expecting to have happen. So.
Okay, thank you. Functional, but in need of modernization?
We're using it now, but it's deteriorating. We had planned to do some work to it, but what they've levied on us is quite a bit more than what we expected, and that's why we need some help.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Seeing no more questions, thank you very much for your presentation. And we are going to turn now to Gadenzia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you to members of the delegation. It's nice to see everybody. My name is Christy Blaylock. I'm the Executive Director for Gadenzia. We are housed in Anne Arundel County. We are currently on the now hospital, Crownsville Hospital Memorial Park. We have been at that location since 2016. We are a substance use and co-occurring disorders treatment provider, providing a full continuum of care ranging from harm reduction to residential outpatient crisis stabilization, outreach, and a plethora of recovery recovery support peer-led services on that campus. We are serving approximately 3,000 Marylanders annual. 68% of those residents in fiscal year 24 were Anne Arundel County residents. So we're really proud to be a staple in Anne Arundel County for providing these critical services. We are requesting a bond bill this year totaling just over $640,000. We are looking at upgrading the security system and replacing the roof of the campus that we are located on. We have, like I said, been on that campus since 2016. Thus far, we have applied for and been awarded one LBI, which was back in 2016 for a total of $190,000. And that went towards the original replacement of the very large HVAC system. So since we've been on the grounds, we've been very lucky to have between our nonprofit organization and our foundation organization be able to self-fund about $2.8 million in necessary repairs and replacements on the grounds. The roof there is the original 1950s coal tar roof, so obviously leaking and the inability to repair it to the need to modernize it is an issue, as well as the complexity of clients that we serve, making sure that we have an intercom system, upgraded camera system. It's a very antiquated camera system, and also adding secure badge systems for the medical units to be able to treat the complexity of psychiatric patients that we are seeing. We are averaging between 270 and 300 admissions a month at this location alone. So we really want to make sure that as a staple moving forward on the Crownsville Hospital Park location, that we have a safe and secure place for both clients and residents. We have been in talks. We do not have an official sponsor, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to give it a minute and look for any hands. All right, seeing none, thank you so much. Always a pleasure to see you, Christy. And we are going to turn to the Severna Park Elks. All right, did we? Severna Park Elks, Terry, you are still muted. Are you able to unmute?
I think so.
There we go. Now we've got you.
Not going? All right. I wish to welcome you all to the snowy Severna Park Elks. And I also wish to thank Delegate Bagnall and also Delegate Chisholm for support last year and hopefully support this year at the same time. We'd like to speak to you, allowing us to speak to you tonight about the bond initiative of the Severna Park Elks. My name is Terry Hicks. I'm the past president of the Severna Park Elks, and this past year we celebrate our 52-year anniversary. I'd like to introduce Kathy Meyer, who was awarded Citizen of the Year 2 years ago. Slide 2.
Our present facility was constructed in 1983, meeting all of the ADA requirements. We have a lounge area, which can hold up to 120 people, and our hall area can hold up to 450 people. Our current bathrooms are outdated and no longer ADA compliant.
Slide 3. Once awarded the legislative bond, we would start working immediately with an architect to see what is possible in the space we have to get the bathrooms ADA compliant.
Slide 4. Our board of directors has approved $40,000 in lodge funds to go towards this project. Since we believe the project will cost approximately $160,000, we are asking your committee for $120,000 to make our bathrooms accessible to all.
Elks take pride in our many contributions to the community. We honor our vets, help our youth and adult community members. This past year, we donated over $75,000 in actual money to many organizations in our area. Our building is open to the community.
Slide 6. So this, in the past year.
Yeah, I just want to stop you for 1 second. Are we supposed to be seeing the slides, or you just sent them in advance?
Oh,
we sent them in advance.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Last year I tried to do them and I couldn't get it to work.
I just wanted to make sure. So we do.
Thank you.
Members, you do have them, but I just want to make sure we weren't supposed to be seeing them on the screen.
I apologize.
This past year, with so many venues closing in our area, Michael's Fifth Avenue, Hella's, the Fontainebleau, and then just recently Blues on the Water in Glen Burnie, we have been booked almost every weekend. There are very few venues in the Severna Park area that can handle large gatherings.
In conclusion, this grant would help us modernize our facility, make it accessible to all, and allow us to continue in our efforts helping people in our community. I wish to thank you for listening to our presentation. Please help us to make our facility open. Are there any questions? Other than where are the slides?
You're fine. I just wanted to make sure that we were giving your presentation due diligence. So thank
no
you for
problem.
that. And I'm just looking to see if there are any hands. It looks like you nailed it, so thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and turn to ARC of the Chesapeake region. And thank you for your indulging me in the disruption. I just wanted to make sure that we were
No
giving
problem.
your
No problem.
presentation the due diligence.
you.
ARC of the Chesapeake region, go ahead.
Good evening, Anne Arundel County delegation members. On behalf of the ARC Central Chesapeake region, thank you for allowing me. Can you all hear me? Oh, I apologize. I'm frozen, so just know that I'm going.
It's okay. We can hear you even if you're frozen. You're good.
Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present our legislative bond request for the 2025 legislative session. For the record, my name is Riley Shoebridge, and I serve as the Director of Government Relations. I'd like to express my gratitude to Chairwoman Beidel and Delegate Bagnall for sponsoring our bond requests. Your leadership and commitment are vital to making Anne Arundel County an inclusive community for all. The ARC currently supports over 4,000 people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and employs more than 600 people in Anne Arundel County and Maryland's Eastern Shore. Beyond daily services, our mission is to create equitable, accessible, and fully inclusive communities. As the number of people we support continues to grow, so does the need for staff and space. We're thrilled to share that the ARC will soon purchase our current headquarters in Linthicum at 999 Corporate Boulevard. This investment will provide much needed office space, a community hub, and expand capacity to serve people with intellectual and developmental disabilities in our community. To make the entire building fully accessible, we are requesting $350,000 for essential renovations. These funds will be used to transform bathrooms into accessible facilities, improve entrances and doorways, and add additional accessible points of entry. These changes will ensure that everyone, regardless of ability, feels welcomed and supported in our space. Once again, thank you, Chair Beidel, Delegate Bagnall, and the entire Anne Arundel County delegation for your support of people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Your backing of this bond request is an investment in a stronger, more inclusive Anne Arundel County. I'm happy to answer any questions and provide any additional details.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to give it a moment for questions from the members. Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. And we are now going to move to Stony Beach Community.
Good evening. I am going to share my screen.
Okay, we have your screen.
All right, perfect. Good evening, and thank you for taking the time to listen to our request. Our LBI request is sponsored by Delegate Chisholm. My name is Brooke Herman, and I'm the treasurer of the Stony Beach Council of Unit Owners. We're a community of about 458 townhomes located on a peninsula bordered by Cox Creek, by Stony Creek, and by the Patapsco, all of which feeds right into the bay. We're about 2.5 miles from the Key Bridge, and we have about 1.25 miles of shoreline that we're discussing this evening. You should have also received a PowerPoint that goes into greater detail, but I want to take a minute and just reference the pictures here. You can see over the course of 5 years the deterioration to our land. Since 2019, we invested about $600,000 to purchase this parcel, which was previously privately owned and pretty well neglected. At that point, we took the time to remove invasive species, create and submit an approved vegetation management plan, eliminate dumped trash, and just a number of other treasures that we found in this parcel, and bring in native species. And at this point, we are home to approximately 3,600 native plant and animal species in this area. In 2023, we applied for and were granted funds through DNR to construct an 850 linear foot living shoreline with high and low marshland to stop the erosion that you can see here. You can see over the course of 5 years just how much of our land has eroded, and with that go plants and all of the habitat for native species. So we've lost about 70 feet. We've partnered with Watershed Stewards Academy. We've sent several of our community members through the academy, and they've graduated and become watershed stewards. And at this point, we are working with that grant, and construction is underway. We are on a temporary pause as a result of the migratory bird exclusion period. This is phase 1 of our three-phase plan to restore different parts along those three waterways that I mentioned in order to ensure that we are able to provide and keep the Chesapeake Bay species alive. We're asking for about $120,000 to help defray the cost that we're already putting out. We are committed to this project as well as a match, but with that $120,000, we can make a further investment and go on to phase 2 and phase 3 much more easily. So we're happy to answer questions along the way.
Thank you very much. And I'm just going to give the members a moment. All right, I'm seeing no hands. Thank you for your presentation. And we are going to move to Maryland City Fire Department.
Hello, my name is Marlene Netherton. I'm the Vice President of Maryland City Volunteer Fire Department. And I would like to thank you for the opportunity of giving me this time to present our request for funds. I would like to thank Delegate Sandy Bartlett, who is sponsoring us for this LBI request. We are asking for $5,552 towards our awning project. The scope of the project is to replace 3 awning covers at the entrances to our station. They are deteriorating, dry rotting, causing the cover material to come apart with many porous holes. The new replacement of the awning covers will protect the public upon entering and exiting the building and from the bad weather that comes along with that. The replacement with the new covers definitely will help with the unsightly appearance of the station. And we hope to replace these 3 awning covers before they really start falling down in pieces on the public who are using our building for their events and for our community events. Thank you for your consideration. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Thank you very much. And I have a hand from Delegate Bartlett.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to thank Marlene for her presentation. This is her first presentation, and I think you did a great job. Thanks, Marlene.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Delegate Bartlett. And I've got a hand from Delegate Henson.
I concur with Delegate Bartlett. You did a fine job, Marlene. Thanks for the presentation. My question is, forgive me for being a novice when it comes to the sort of project that you're doing. $552,000 to replace 3 awnings.
No, $5,000.
Thank you.
$5,552.
Now that's like it. Thank you, Marlene. I appreciate it. Thank you for
You're
your
welcome.
indulgence.
Oh,
Thank
my
you,
goodness.
Madam Chair.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you too.
Absolutely. And seeing no other hands, thank you very much for your presentation. And I concur with my members. You did a great job. So
thank you so much.
We're going to go ahead and turn to Children's Theater of Annapolis.
Good evening, everyone, Madam Chair, and the members of the Anne Arundel delegation. Thank you for having me tonight. The Children's Theater of Annapolis is a nonprofit organization that's dedicated to nurturing the growth and development and the love of the theater for children ages 5 to 18. CTA provides a positive circle of influence through friendships that foster self-esteem, creativity, commitment, teamwork, appreciation, and dedication. CTA serves the child and our community. We serve over 6,000 people a year through our theater. We see them come through our doors every year. CTA's mission is to provide a safe and pleasant theatrical experience to all children. And this is a large part that this experience comes from our all-encompassing education programming. It is for this reason that CTA is asking the delegation to consider us for funding to renovate and expand our old annex building. We realize that in order to reach out to more children from all backgrounds, CTA needs more room to build that growth. And in 2024, we celebrated our 65th anniversary. And we thank Delegate Bagnall for sponsoring us. Our main theater is 246 seats and holds 3 main stage shows a year. Our annex is a rundown building It used to be a garage for large military trucks. It has no insulation and is still heated by propane. At this time, the annex building is our education center that we use for all of our theater education classes year-round. Our goal is to make it an environmentally sustainable four-room building that will allow us to build our education program and extend our outreach to underserved families. With this new annex, our students will learn dancing, acting, music in a safe and warm building. The cost of the project is a little over $1 million with $700,000 already committed. We plan to break ground in 2025, and we are asking for a $300,000 bond. And we also plan to build a rain garden, a meditation garden, and solar panels to supply electricity to our new theater building.
Thank you very much. I'm going to give the members a moment, see if there are any questions from the members. Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation and for your good work. And we are going to move now to breaking boundaries. I have you. Do we have breaking boundaries? All right, we will come back to breaking boundaries. I have next SS Constantine and Helen Preschool.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam Chair and members of the delegation, and thank you for the opportunity to present the LBI request for the Saints Constantine and Helen Preschool. My name is Debbie Chacona, and I'm the president of the school board. Our school opened its doors in 2008 and is a Maryland state licensed preschool program for 3- and 4-year-old children. Our mission is to create lifelong learners who are prepared for the next academic level. We strive to nurture each child's whole body and mind through cognitive, emotional, social, and physical development. At this time, we're still looking for a sponsor for this LBI request. We're requesting $50,000 for a bathroom expansion project, which will be needed to pursue our ultimate goal of increasing the number of seats in the school. We currently have 2 toilets, and we need to add more in order to meet the 1 toilet for every 15 student state requirement. We have obtained architect drawings, contractor estimates, and are in the process of obtaining a permit. Construction would occur over the summer so that we would be able to add another classroom for 3-year-old students by the fall of 2025. By adding more seats in the school, this project will benefit the parents in Anne Arundel County who are looking for more preschool options. Our initiative is in response to the consistent waiting list the school has due to the interest in enrollment within the Anne Arundel County community. Our initiative also aligns with Maryland's Push to Pre-K initiative, which aims to increase the number of 3- and 4-year-old children enrolled in preschool, as well as the Blueprint for Maryland's Future, which aims to massively expand pre-K for 3- and 4-year-olds by adding seats in public and private preschool classrooms. These initiatives recognize the overall public benefit of educating children at the pre-K age level. I thank you for your attention and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. And you can tell we're from Annapolis when I read that as SS, like a steamship. I'm looking for any hands from our members. And seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. I'm going to go to Glen Burnie Elks, and then I'll do a second call for breaking boundaries. So let's go ahead and go to Glen Burnie Elks, and then we'll go back and see if we've got breaking boundaries in here. Do we have Glen Burnie Elks?
I see Sylvia trying to unmute.
Okay. Sylvia, do you want us to go to the next one, and then we'll come back to you? Are you able to unmute? Okay, we're going to reach out to you and see if we can get you some technical support. We're going to go to For My City Zero Waste to Hunger facility. And Rory, if you can try and reach out to Sylvia, see if we can get her some tech support.
Yes, hi, good evening. My name is Chris. I'm the founder and executive director for my city. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So I'm just going to share 3 slides real quick with everyone. You should have received this in email. At For My City, our focus is on environmental sustainability, primarily through the diversion of food waste. In a nutshell, we rescue food and get it out to families that can use it. Our 4 core programs, our Food Rescue to Go program, we're the only food pantry in the state of Maryland that's open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. for families to come in and pick up food resources. Compost on the Go, which is our free statewide composting program. Again, we have a free composting program for nearly every single resident in the city of Baltimore right now. Our For My City Youth Mentoring and Job Training program, which is for kids age 16 to 23. We offer paid job training and mentoring services with mentors like myself and other athletes and business leaders across the state of Maryland. And our For My City Health Connect, which is our on-site weekly health connection service for families. On the next slide here that I'm going to share is just some participation rates for our program. So our Food Rescue to Go program, we currently have over 10,000 residents participating in our free food distribution program. Our composting program, we have over 6,617 families signed up. This is the largest composting program, free composting program in the nation. And then our For My City U program, we have 427 applicants. We've graduated 36, and 10 of them are still employed with For My City. Basically, we're building a resilience hub in New York County. And we have one showcased here in Baltimore City, which through the sponsorship of a bond bill, we just completed. And we're doing a free facility launch on the 19th for anyone here that wants to actually come and see the facility in person. At this facility, we have the largest 24-hour composter in the state of Maryland. And our composter, the technology that we're building here at For My City, turns food waste into usable soil within a 24-hour cycle. I'm proud to say, since I've launched For My City, we've done over 225 million pounds of food rescued and distributed, and about 45 million pounds of food composted. And we launched in October of 2018. For My City does not have a paid board, and we do not operate on a CEO salary. So everything that's operated or done in this program is done by the youth from our community and our volunteers. So all our kids that are in the paid mentorship programs are the ones that's running For My City operations through the leadership, obviously, of myself and our unpaid board of directors. We're asking for funding for this bond bill to open our second zero waste facility in Anne Arundel County. Currently, we have over 1,000 residents that come to our facility from that county. So we're hoping to expand in there as our second location in the state of Maryland. Our bill is sponsored by Delegate Simmons, who's been an advocate. He's visited our facility. He's seen our operation firsthand. And again, I invite anyone that wants to stop by and see it in person to feel free to come.
Thank you very much. And I'm gonna just give the members a moment to ask questions. Seeing no hands, I just had a couple of questions. Because I know you're trying to be under the 2 minutes. When did you say that your open houses, was that December the 19th?
Yeah, this Thursday, December 19th, anyone can show up. It's from 1 to 3. We do have like the Lieutenant Governor and a couple other senators from the state of Maryland coming. The comptroller's office and a couple other senators that's, supported For My City in the past. Our facility now in Baltimore City was through a bond bill. So we were ordered a bond bill, and we're proud to say from that first delegation, we've completed the construction and launch of this facility. So I'm very happy that, it shows our execution. And just a question I was asked earlier that I'd raised my hand to answer. The bond bill process can be complicated. You can request money if you have contracts and your contracts and stuff are approved. Your projects can be approved and you can get the money, and they would either pay the vendor directly or they can do a reimbursement. So it all depends on your organization's capacity on how you want to handle that. But if you do get all your contracts and all your paperwork approved, the state of Maryland can pay the money directly to the vendor. The money, once the bond bill is approved to you, it's locked in, so you don't have anything to worry about.
Thank you very much. Before I go to the members, I just had one other question because I just wanted to clarify the numbers. When you talked about the 10,466,117, is that in Baltimore, but currently you're serving about 1,000 residents in Anne Arundel County?
So that's total residents signed up to our program. So
That's total
everything-
residents. So that's
yeah.
Baltimore and Anne Arundel.
Yeah, so that's the
Okay.
state of Maryland. Anyone can sign up to our program to pick up food resources. Everything here is tracked. Basically, when they come in, they sign in. So we can track how much times they visit. They can come once a day, but they can come 5 days a week if they need resources. And we do other things. We do socks, we do training. We're doing a massive toy giveaway for the kids, over 25,000 toys this year. We do backpacks and book bags and school giveaways and stuff. So you can learn more about us, on our website or on Instagram. But yes, everything here is registered, and we have about 1,000 residents registered from Anne Arundel County with
Great. Thank you so
over
much.
5,000 pickups in the year already.
Thank you. And thank you for clarifying that. I'm going to go to our members now, Delegate Lehman and then Delegate Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for the presentation. Very interesting. So one quick clarification. Am I understanding you right that physically the facility, is it in Baltimore County or in Anne Arundel? And you serve Anne Arundel folks? Could you clarify that?
So our facility right now is in Baltimore City. We got funding in 2022 to open up this facility. Our construction is finished and this facility has been opened and operating for the last couple of years, but we're finally doing our official launch this Thursday, the 19th. But we serve the entire state of Maryland. What we're looking to do here at For My City is build these resiliency hubs in different counties so that it's closer for families to come in and pick up food resources and to get the support that we needed. Plus, we hire the mentees that are running the program from the counties that we're in. So the 16 mentees that the 34 mentees that we've cycled through are all for Baltimore City. We try to hire from within. So when we open up in Anne Arundel County, we'll be hiring from your county to run these different programs.
Okay, great. Thank you for that. And then is this food waste only that you're dealing with, or do you deal with yard waste as well?
So we do not purchase any of the food we distribute, that we distribute. All our food is rescued. I'm proud to say we've never spent a dime in food in rescuing 225 million pounds of food. We do, for our composting program, we're primarily doing food waste right now. We have over 6,000 residents that are participating. We give them a little bag that is like this size, and they bring the food waste in that bag, and that gets composted in our machine within 24 hours. And then we're going to be giving the soil back out to the residents for like local gardening, for community gardening, that kind of stuff. The yard waste part of it, once we think we have like the right discipline for the families, which is kind of what we're teaching in the program, introduce that yard waste segment. That gets a little bit more complicated when you're dealing with like MDE and the Department of Ag and stuff. So, we're new within the composting game, so we're still trying to map some of these things out when you think about like yard waste and stuff. But the food waste, we're pretty clear and consistent with that.
I think Delegate Lehman may have frozen. So we'll go to Delegate Simmons, and Delegate Lehman, if you have a follow-up, just let us know when you're back in. Go ahead.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Chair. And hey, Chris, how you doing, my friend?
Good.
Can you talk a little bit about your partnership with Anne Arundel County Food Bank and some of the things you've been doing to reach across county lines to also provide toys and other things to residents in the Brooklyn Park community as well, and the overall general county, working with the Anne Arundel County Food Bank?
Oh, definitely. We are also partnered with FEMA, so we rescue food resources from FEMA. We've done probably 2 or 3 tractor loads of like baby food and baby formula and stuff to the Anne Arundel County food banks. We have a pretty good relationship with Anne Arundel. For the bulk of stuff that we rescue, and we could, and then, obviously when the Brooklyn homes, unfortunate incident happened there, we stepped out and we provided food to all those residents. We provide, a lot of goods and stuff like household items to like families transitioning out of homelessness. And then obviously through your office with Mary Cruz, with the give back with the schools, with the book bags and school supplies, we do that with you guys. We've done that with you guys for over a year now, I think, or more.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. And I've heard from Delegate Lehman that her that she lost her sound, so she's logging out and back in. So if Chris, if you can just stay on for a minute, just in case we have more questions. I'm going to go to our next presentation, and I'll let you go as soon as I just confirm that we don't have any further questions for you. All right, thank you so much. I'm going to do a second call for breaking boundaries. Do we have breaking boundaries here?
Yes, hello everyone. How's everyone doing? So my name is Randy Kenyatta Rowell. I'm the CEO and founder of Breaking Boundaries Environmental LLC. We are a minority-owned, Black-owned environmental restoration firm. We focus on environmental outcomes from communities of color and environmental justice communities. And the initiative that I'm proposing tonight is for the purchasing of one of a historical Black-owned beach, Hunt Shore, which is at 383 Brownswoods Road. I'm sorry, Forest Beach Road, and 383 and 385 Forest Beach Road. And these were this location was originally a safe space for African American descendant community of Brownswoods, Mulberry Hill, and many others throughout the Broadneck Peninsula. We represent the 7 communities of color of the Broadneck Peninsula, and we recently got an apology for slavery to this community from St. Margaret's Church. And so we want to, Sandy Point Beach was a segregated beach, and so that was less than a mile or so away from this, and it was an alternate space for us to party, to hang, and have our safe surroundings. And with the amount of access to the environment and outdoor natural green spaces that's being taken away through gentrification and other different means, we are not allowing for the same access for our spaces. And it can be a little pricey. And so we want to look at this as a means to use this facility to turn it into an environmental justice center for gathering resiliency and coastal communities of color data, so that we can use that to help minimize and mitigate climate change and things that have to do with sea level rise mitigation. So that's pretty much it. And this also coordinates with a trails project that we have funding from National Park Services with to restore some historic trails, which are also along this route. That's called the Mulberry Hill and Brownswoods Trail Project. That's through the Rivers and Conservation Space Grant from National Park Services. We also have a letter of support from the county, as well as Seven River Association and the United States Naval Academy.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to give the members a moment. Delegate Henson, go ahead.
Thank you for your presentation, Mr. Rao, and for the work that you all are doing. Could you help us understand a little bit more? You mentioned descendant communities and this particular parcel of land tying in with the descendant community and the preservation work that's being done there. Can you help us understand how this LBI would support that?
Sure. So when I speak of a descendant community, I'm referring to a community that's descendants were directly involved in slavery, chattel slavery, and things around that background. We have those kind of data points that we can share that show those connections that designate these descendant communities. There are descendants in these communities that are direct descendants of Harriet Tubman, Reverend Samuel Green Sr., as others here, but that's what designates us as a descendant community. Is that what you were referring to?
Yes, and just for the public good, trying to understand how preserving this land for public access, how that would help to promote our broader goals surrounding preservation and history here in Anne Arundel County.
Well, it's important because it's the most underfunded types of projects in our state current to date when it comes to preservation and where funding is allocated. And we all know that the way in which communities are able to advocate for themselves and create infrastructural development is through these types of spaces. And so we want to represent that and really give this an opportunity to bridge that gap and, really change the outcome of some of that. This is also part of the whole Watershed Act Fund project, which was submitted through the Anne Arundel County Resiliency Authority and the State of Maryland Resilience Authority with Gabe Conti and Matt Fleming. And so if we do get picked for the funding for the Seven River Watershed, which is what this is in Mill Creek, this will be a project that will take place and other projects in that space as well. So we got our fingers crossed on that because it's becoming more apparent to, state, county, federal agencies how underfunded our spaces are and how time and time again, when large amounts of funding are allocated, that somehow we missed the mark on putting in our name in the hat to try to put some development in our spaces. So with the increase in access to green nature and water, we want to use this as a means to help bolster the value around our Governor Wes Moore's environmental literacy executive order, as well as the state of Maryland, which was the first state to put a environmental education public mandate in the United States of America. So, and we also want to use this as a site to be on the Underground Railroad National Site, and we also want it to be part of the Chesapeake Bay National Park site as an official site on that network. Because what we're finding even with that is that there aren't a lot of our spaces that are being put in the hat for that. And we want to make sure that, that those national registries and such represent fully the demographic and the diversity that our Chesapeake Bay offers.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Do we have any other questions from the members? Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation, Mr. Rao. We're going to go ahead and turn to the Glen Burnie Elks. Did we manage to get you sound, Sylvia? Are you able to unmute? We see you. Oh, all right, that's okay. Just hang in there. Oh, it looked like you unmuted for a second and then you remuted. Can you try that again? No, we're going to go ahead and go to Early Heights Volunteer Fire Company, and we'll see if we can get you in there.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Delegation, thank you tonight for your time. Our bill is being sponsored by Delegate Chisholm and Senator Guile. We're asking for, once again, $250,000 as we continue our progress towards building a new fire station. For folks, just a little bit of information about how the volunteer fire companies work. We're the oldest volunteer organization in the United States that's still operating. Started basically in 1736 as a volunteer company. Early Heights is the oldest in the county as of 1918. And when it comes to the fire departments here and what we do in this county, is our buildings are owned and maintained by the volunteer companies, and the equipment and the apparatus are bought by the volunteer companies. And when you talk about dollars and cents, a fire engine right now is $1.1 million and a squad's $1.3 million, and we have to buy another engine at $1 million. So a lot of the fundraising that we do goes for the fire equipment besides the station. The last 2 years we've received funding, which has been great. We've been working through the county and how the county and basically the construction and permitting process, and we're getting very close to this year to eventually breaking ground and moving forward. Our facility also is kind of a cornerstone in the Severna Park area, as our hall is the largest facility for rent in the county, with 801 standing and 504 seated. And then the elections board uses our facility for early voting, regular voting, and basically county meetings and orientation for both police and fire. So we're very important in the community. We're asking for that as we move forward. the project altogether is going to be about $14 million. So the volunteers are committed to funding and paying, but we're asking for help from the state and the delegation to complete the project. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. And I see I have a hand from Delegate Simmons.
He's muted.
Delegate Simmons, you need to unmute.
I got it. Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you once again for all the hard work that's taking place with the Early Heights Fire Department. Can you just draw down a little bit on the great work y'all are doing with not only the training program, but working with other agencies like the airport fire department as well, and some of the training that y'all do there?
Sure, Delegate Simmons, thank you for that question. We are tied into basically Fort Meade Naval Academy, BWI Airport, and as some of you would notice when you come up Ritchie Highway, we have that the military vehicle there. That is the only one in the state, which Secretary Strickland from Department of Emergency Management was so happy that we got, that we can lend it out to other states as well as interstate. And so we try to be a great agency. And then we are also the only volunteer fire company or fire company in the state that we hold a once-a-year training for rescue and basically auto rescue for anybody that wants to come at free of charge. And we bring folks in from out of state. The state is so gracious and basically gives us buses to cut up, and local organizations give us vehicles. So we do a lot. We train a lot of firefighters. We've done this now for about 6 years. We average somewhere in a group of about 300 firefighters per session for a week at a time. So we're all about helping the whole state of Maryland as well as what we can nationwide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just looking for any other hands. Seeing none, thank you again, Chief Crawford, for all the good work you do and for your presentation. And we are going to go to Reverend Samuel Green Senior Foundation.
Good evening to the entire delegation. I'm Dale Green, a Morgan State University professor and serving as chairman of the Reverend Samuel Green Senior Foundation Incorporated. And Reverend Samuel Green Sr. was a founder of Morgan State University, a Underground Railroad conductor, and also first cousin to Harriet Tubman. Serving on the board also is Dr. Randolph Rao as vice chairman, who's on today, and Dr. Angela Hicks as secretary and treasurer. We want to also acknowledge the support that the state legislature has reinforced with the family, namely through Governor Wes Moore and the recent renaming of the state's official museum, adding Tubman's name. We also want to thank and appreciate Senate President Bill Ferguson and his various support with various preservation efforts that the family has had, and Speaker Adrian Jones, and namely with the reauthorization and the increase in the African American Heritage Preservation Grant Program, which I had the opportunity to work with her on. And then Senator Sarah Elfreth, who's with us on this evening, we want to thank and appreciate her efforts with our many initiatives. But this evening, we want to thank most importantly Delegate Shanika Henson, who is sponsoring the very LBI that we're bringing before you this evening. We are seeking funding for the preservation of the historic Brownswood Rosenwald School. And our family's foundation is seeking to reprogram that with the foundation's Model Center, whose mission is focused on education as the 21st century Underground Railroad, environmental justice, and preservation. The Brownswood Rosenwald School was built by noted philanthropist Julius Rosenwald and Booker T. Washington of the Tuskegee Institute and the members of the Brownswood community. The Rosenwald School put Black students at the vanguard of education, and the architecture of this school was a tangible statement of the quality of children, and their programming made them a focal point of the community identity and aspiration. But despite Rosenwald School's historical significance, only a small percentage of America is familiar with these structures and their impact. This project's preservation will increase the overall place knowing, add to economic and educational benefits, and will become a historic building that will attract people and businesses.
Thank you very much, Mr. Green. And I'm going to give a moment for hands. And also, let Chris know I was derelict in saying that Delegate Lehman is going to reach out to you offline if she has any questions. So you are good to leave. And with that, I'm looking for any hands for Mr. Green. Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. And we are going to turn to Rude Ranch, and then we'll go back and see if we've got Glen Burnie Elks in here. So Rude Ranch, please go ahead. Rude Ranch, you need to unmute. Do we have you in here?
I saw the tag at the bottom.
I see somebody with an iPhone, parentheses 103.
103, is
to
that
unmute.
Rude Ranch? I don't see anyone unmuting. So Laurel Racetrack Chaplains. Do you have Laurel Racetrack Chaplains?
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Good, go ahead.
Good evening, Madam Chair, and to all the delegates. Thank you to Delegate Mary Lehman for the sponsor. Storehouse Ministries is a nonprofit organization based in Maryland that was founded by myself in 2021. As a retired jockey, I saw the need for support within the horse racing community. In 2021, Storehouse Ministries affiliated with the Racetrack Chaplaincy of America to provide services, support services to backstretch workers, support personnel, jockeys, and other relevant racetrack holders. Currently, Racetrack Chaplaincy has a minimum budget. To supplement this budget, often I find myself dipping into my own pocket. A serious horse riding accident brought an end to my riding career. But in the interim, I had been volunteering for 12 years on the backside of a racetrack to take care of the needs of the community. So I found my calling and I decided to go with it. The need that we're asking for is a multi-purpose trailer. A dedicated office space will allow a centralized workspace to operate out of, and it would serve as a meeting place for the community being served. In addition, an office trailer will be used for the various services that are offered by us. Currently, there are approximately 300 to 400 residents who live on a racetrack and approximately 1,000 individuals who work on a racetrack and are not allowed to live on the track. Most are migrant workers on a temporary visa whose first language is English. Individuals who live on the track are not allowed to cook, so they have to find food after 12 o'clock because the kitchen closes at 12 and they have left to find it at their own cost. We as the chaplaincy we've been operating a pantry, which is affiliated to the church at Severn Run, the Love Wins Pantry, and we've offered them services to make sure that everyone gets a meal. Some of the services that we'll be providing, administrative duties for this entire community, telephone, calls, email, fax, alcohol anonymous classes. The food pantry will continue and expand, a clothing drive, organization and maintenance of women's support group, provide a meeting place to provide advice and English translation to all social service, immigration, social security office, IRS, banking, etc., hosting a tax preparation clinic, assistance with tax and those applying for social security. I've done 12 in the last month. The trail will be used for storage of various resources, including mattresses, which is left for those that when they come in for the first time have no place to stay and therefore nowhere to sleep on. So we provide that service for them. That this is the case in minimum for you guys to consider for us. We would really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to give the members a moment, see if there are any questions. Seeing none, thank you very much for your presentation. I don't see Sylvia in the meeting yet, so I'm going to do another call for Rude Ranch. Do we have Rude Ranch here? Rude Ranch or Glen Burnie Elks? I also see some folks in the meeting who that we haven't heard from. If I have not called your organization, can you unmute and introduce yourself in case there's somebody I missed on the agenda? All right, it looks like we've got everyone who's on the agenda. We will circle back with Glen Burnie Elks and with Rude Ranch and make sure that the members have all of their information since they weren't able to present this evening. I do want to thank all of our presenters. We recognize we have to balance the support of all the good work of our nonprofits with the financial realities of our state. So I want to assure you that we will give all of your presentations due consideration, and that to all of our community nonprofits, if we are not able to fund your LBI, it is not in any way a reflection on the good work that you do. I also wanted to congratulate, we want to congratulate District 31 Delegate Rachel Munoz on the birth of baby Leo, who was born November 24th. And finally, I want to take a moment of personal privilege to thank the delegation for the 2 years. It has been a great honor of mine to lead this delegation with Vice Chair Jones, and I'm really grateful for all of the good work that we have done together. With that, I want to open it up to the members. If there are any other announcements, I will make sure that we send out the information on the December 19th open house, as well as make sure that you have all of the information on the presentations we've seen tonight. I do have a hand from Delegate Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to take the time to thank you for your service to our county and to the constituents and building leadership here in the Anne Arundel County Caucus and all the hard work, as well as for our Vice Chair, Chair Jones, for all the hard work that y'all have done and brought as a team to the county. We hope to continue to build on that. Myself, along with our incoming chair, Delegate Pruski, we look to build on partnership in our delegation, strength, and bringing economic value to all we do to build on the families of Anne Arundel County. So thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, Delegate Simmons. Delegate Pruski, Chair-elect Pruski.
Thank you, Chairwoman Bagnall, and Delegate Simmons stole part of my thunder, but I think I just wanted to follow up in terms of what he said. Thank you again for your service, and along with the Vice Chair, and thank you for all the presenters today. I do want to make just one community announcement, if you don't mind. For those of you that don't follow, Arundel High School just won the state championship in football, and there's going to be a community celebration this Saturday at Arundel High School at 11 o'clock. They're going to have a community parade with businesses, local folks, and everyone's certainly invited. So I did want to announce that. And I believe we will also have them hopefully come down for the legislature during session to be recognized as well. So we're certainly excited about that. But I wanted to let everybody know. And again, Chairwoman Bagnall, Vice Chair Jones, thank you for your service. We appreciate you. And we still will be asking you questions. Don't worry, you'll be on speed dial. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Delegate Pruski. I also want to congratulate some of our members are going on to bigger, we'll call it better things. I personally have a great affinity for our House and Senate delegation, but I know that some of you are going on to other challenges, and you will remain steadfast partners. So thank you so much for all of your good work. With that, do I have any other comments from the delegation? Seeing none, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that this meeting be adjourned at this time.
Second.
All right, it has been moved and seconded. Have a wonderful holiday, everyone. Get some rest. This is going to be it's going to be an exciting session with a lot of new challenges that we are going to face head on under the powerful leadership of Chair Pruski and Vice Chair Simmons. So thank you very much. And with